Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we have a wedding report for you, and we have Haylee Tilly and Kyle Tilly. And this is going to be really fun because they got married at 1410 right here in Nashville this past February. And they both grew up in Franklin, Tennessee, where Kyle works in the turf industry and Haley works for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They had crushes on each other since middle school, but the stars didn't align until after they both graduated college 5 years ago. They just bought their first home in Brentwood, Tennessee, and spend most of their time goofing off with friends and family, playing pickleball, and rewatching New Girl. Welcome, you guys.
Hi,
Hey,
thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. I love New Girl. That's like one of the shows that I laugh out loud to. It's
It's so
so
good.
funny. I love it. Like
Every
Schmidt is
episode is
just
just
like
amazing.
next level. It's so
It
ridiculous,
is.
but it's so fun. Anyways, let's get right to it. How did you guys meet? You went to school together? Like you've known each other since middle school?
hmm
yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
we met in sixth grade, I guess. We only kind of really have one memory, I guess, from middle school of like knowing each other. I don't remember like the first time we met or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess the only memory I kind of have is in sixth grade, we were at recess and he was playing soccer with all of his friends. I was like in the dugout in one of the baseball fields and I just kept yelling, Tilly. And then I would duck with all of my friends and we'd like giggle and laugh. And I'd just do it over and over again. And he would always like look over and like, oh my gosh, what is this dumb girl doing? And that's like the only
That's
memory I have of middle school, but it's
that's
clearly
so
stuck in my
funny.
mind. So,
I love that. I remember, yeah, like middle school doing that to like your
all the
crush and
flirting.
just
Yep.
like, yeah, totally giving them a hard time, but it's because you liked
Yep,
them.
exactly.
That's awesome. So, and then you guys like reconnected it like right after college when you graduated. You guys like
hmm
both moved back here or
Yeah.
came
So
back here?
it was a couple months after graduating, maybe more, and I was just hanging out with a buddy of mine, and I was on Bumble, just perusing what was there, and I swiped and I saw Haley, and I literally shouted at my friend. I was like, "It's Haley Pellegrino!" Oh, don't know if I could use your full name, but anyways, it's Haley Pellegrino, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm gonna do it." And he's like, "Do it!" And then I did, and she matched, and I was like, "Ah!" I just like
Yeah.
freaked out.
Yes, it was
No
actually, yeah,
way.
online dating that brought us back together. And I had only been on it for a little bit. My sister like made my account for me and she was like, just do it. Like, it's so much fun. She met her husband through Bumble.
Wow, no
So
way.
I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then I saw him on there and
Mm-hmm.
I was the one that I guess swiped first. So it didn't like immediately match for me yet. But I remember being with my best girlfriends of just like, should I do it? Like, I've always had a crush on him. And so I did it. And then a few days later, I guess, is when he swiped and we had like matched. And we've been talking ever since. And
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it was just such a small world. And we had so many like mutual friends. And so like our friend groups just like merged perfectly. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it
Oh my
worked out.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Like, what are the chances you're like on a dating app, not expecting to see like someone from your
Yeah.
past or like someone you went to school with, and then like to even just take that next step to be like, yes, I'm interested. Like, let's swipe and
Yeah.
like get together. So, oh my
I
gosh,
know.
that's so cool that that's
Yeah.
how you
And
guys met.
we actually went to the same college too. So like
Oh, okay.
we saw each other freshman year and just
Like
like
first week of school, we saw
passed
each
each
other.
other in the hall and like I immediately texted my best friends like, "Oh my gosh, Kyle goes to this school." I was like so excited and then we never like really crossed paths after that and
I know the
um
whole 4 years we were there, I never saw her ever again. I was like,
wow.
dang it!
Wow.
Like, where is she? I think she goes here still.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
so we've always been, literally right in proximity with each other and of course it's just online dating is what brought us back. So
Yep.
fun
Mm-hmm.
little story.
Wow, I love that story. Okay, so I was looking through your wedding photos that you sent me, and there was another funny story that I think you guys should tell within those. So, It's the digital watch story. Are you open to
Yeah.
sharing about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you talking about like my fitness watch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your fitness watch.
Yeah, so I had a very brief phase of fitness and trying to get into jogging and training for like a half marathon and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the whole 9 yards, get the fancy watch. So it tracked my heart rate and all like the mileage and good stuff like that. And it was one of the first times we were hanging out.
It was our first.
Was it the very
It was our
first?
first night hanging out.
Okay, yeah, our first night hanging out together, and
We did like a little game night with all of our friends, so it was just kind of like
yeah,
ease into it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
at
that's
the end of the
fun.
night, it was just us two hanging out, and so he was like trying to show me his fancy new watch.
yeah. It wasn't like I had just done a bunch of exercise. I was literally just sitting there still. I was like, look at this cool watch and the features it does, and I clicked to the heart rate, and it was like 140 or something
20,
crazy.
something like
Oh
that.
Like
my
something like I was
gosh.
doing like aerobic like exercise,
Yeah.
and I was just so nervous. My heart was pounding out of my chest.
And I
Oh
literally
my
never let
God.
him live it down. It was just too good. And so
Yeah.
I just always gave him crap for that.
Oh,
Touche.
that is so good. And
Yeah.
I love that you incorporated that story into your wedding. Did you
Yeah.
have like, I guess we can go into this later, but did you have like little signs around with like different stories
Yeah.
of like your dating life or
We did.
relationship?
Yeah. So that was one of like the things that we wanted to incorporate to like just make it us and like memorable and just
Yeah.
ways to like show our personality, I guess.
Yeah, keeping
Mhm.
things like light, but
Lighthearted.
also yeah,
Mhm.
some really sweet, like kind of serious
Yeah.
pictures, and we had a comment section for each picture, kind of describing what that photo meant
Yeah.
to us.
Oh,
We called
cool.
them like our like did you knows. So each one started with did you
Yeah.
know, and then it was just like a fun fact about us as kids or you know adults, and then together as like a couple, and it was just a
Mhm.
fun way to like also start conversations with people at tables because they were all like at all the tables, and then like the bistro tables during the cocktail hour and stuff. So just little ways
Mhm.
for people to like giggle and I don't know,
Yeah.
talk together about it, and it was a really fun thing for us to do.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
It was also fun just finding those photos, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it made the process of all the planning and stuff that was like stressful. It was just a moment to like really appreciate us as like a couple, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's so special that you guys did that and that you thought to do that and put those around the room. And yeah, it's like maybe some of your friends and family like didn't know a lot of those stories. And
Yeah.
so like the digital watch thing, like
Yeah.
it might not be something you talk about every day to everybody you know, but then like,
Yeah.
you know, they could just see like little snippets of your life like all throughout the room. And I think that's
Yeah.
really cool and special that you guys
Yeah.
did
We
that.
loved it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the proposal. How did all of that go down?
You answer that one.
Yeah,
but
because I
behind the
coordinated.
scenes.
So Haley she works for the TBI. She's not a
Yeah.
detective, but she very well could be. And I feel like she always knows what's going on, and it's very hard to fool her or get one over on her.
Yeah.
And so I was very fortunate in that her older sister was getting married that year. And so I was able to use that as like a cover. So I had rented out this like space in Nashville. There was just like a really cute like photography studio,
Little studio.
and gotten two of our good friends that are like super talented photographers and stuff, and I had them there with me, and I was queuing up some music. Allie and AJ had a banger come out. I can't remember
That's awesome.
what was first. Slow dancing.
Slow dance.
Yeah, slow dancing.
Slow dancing.
And I had that just on repeat playing in there. But what got her there and how she didn't know it was even happening was because it was getting close to her sister's wedding, and I asked her, "Hey, will you bring Haley to this location and say you're thinking about using this spot for your bridesmaids, like to get ready, like the morning of your wedding?"
Yeah.
And you guys were just gonna like scope it out and check it out and stuff. So she was like, "Oh yeah, perfect. That's perfect cover."
Yeah.
So I coordinated with my friends and family and just texted them all on the side, said, "Hey, this is what's happening today. Please be at the Pellegrino house afterwards."
Yes,
so we can
everybody was at my parents' house, and
say hello
Aw.
and celebrate. And it actually worked. Yeah, she had no idea, and
Yeah.
it took me like months to get everyone's like schedules aligned, so everyone that I wanted to be there was there afterwards to
Yeah.
like
Oh,
celebrate with us. But
And the way that she got me there, like, and like looking cute and everything, she also was saying that she was going to be doing her like bridal hair and makeup like trial kind of thing. And one of
oh
her
yeah.
good friends did it, like, did the makeup for her. And so she was like, Haley, will you also get like your makeup done too, so we can just like see how everything looks? So I got my makeup done and I got a little cute dress on. Like, I was feeling good,
Wow.
but we said we were going to go to a nice dinner after we like checked out this location. And so I was also cute for
Yeah.
that. And so it was
Uh-huh.
perfect cover. Like, my sisters
It
were with
is.
me, my mom. And so I literally had no idea. And I was very pleasantly surprised because I really didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off, but he did.
Yeah. That is seriously such a great surprise and a
Yeah.
great way to do it. Kind of just like piggybacking off your sister's wedding
yeah,
and being
Yes.
like, let's do the makeup trials. Like,
yeah,
let's go to this venue. And then, but like, little did you know it was all about
Yeah.
you and you guys that day. So that's
Yeah.
so
It
fun.
was
I
it was
love that
perfect.
surprise.
yeah. It helps so much when you have people that can help coordinate that with you, and it's
Yeah.
not just like
Yeah.
you and her. Because we've had other
Mm-hmm.
friends where it's like it's blatantly obvious what is happening that day. Like
Yeah.
there's just like there's no way around it. Like the girl typically like
Right.
figures it out some way or
Yeah.
another. So yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
more people that you have to like kind of be in on it, depending on I guess how good they are at keeping secrets,
Yeah.
the better it can be
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I love it. All right, so you're engaged now, and
Mm-hmm.
then tell us all about the wedding planning process and like how that all felt while you were engaged.
It was a lot, to
Yeah,
say the least.
Yeah,
we had a long
I know it is a
engagement,
lot.
We
so
did. I think we had a little over a year and a half for our
Okay.
engagement.
yeah,
Because like we said, my sister was getting married, so we kind of wanted to just like take care of that. And
Mm-hmm.
then we were living in an apartment and then decided to move back in with my parents because it really helped out with saving money for the
Yeah.
wedding and just all that stuff. And it also just, yeah, gave us time to save up and then plan.
yeah,
Also, with like the seasons, I knew I didn't want to be in the dead heat of summer and then didn't want it to be like super cold winter because you never know with Tennessee winters. Um, so we decided on the spring. So then that kind of put us at like about year and a half or so. And um, it was kind of nice because we just got to enjoy being engaged and just like really take all of that in. And then we could do like the really big things like the venue, the photographer, and the dress and all that kind of stuff. We got that out of the way, and then we could kind of take a break for a bit. And so there was definitely pros and cons for having the long engagement. I definitely think the money aspect was probably the most stressful part.
Mm-hmm.
We did not realize how expensive weddings can be, but
Oh yeah,
um,
sticker shock for
yeah,
sure.
especially in Nashville, and then of course just like depending on the seasons and just with all of the, you know,
alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
rentals. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
there's so many things involved that you don't necessarily think about until you're the one hosting the wedding and not attending it.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
was crazy too because we had my sisters, one of my other sisters, she had gotten married, I think like maybe 5 years before us. So my mom still had like some of the invoices and stuff from her wedding, and
Oh,
we just
nice.
like compared what her prices were for certain things versus what it is now, and like
yeah,
it was drastically
Wow.
different.
bumping up.
Yeah.
So that was,
Inflation.
yes,
Yeah.
it was
Everything's
insane.
gone up a lot.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So there
For
were definitely ups and downs with like the wedding planning process. Luckily, with my mom and my sisters and my friends, like it was like all hands on deck, and
Yeah,
I couldn't have done it without them for sure.
hmm
And even just emotionally, like just wanting it to be the most perfect day, and just we are also people pleasers, so there was a lot of like that involved of like just wanting to be
hmm
mindful of other people's opinions and what they're kind of wanting for the day as well. Um, but ultimately, it just always came back to like what we wanted and how we wanted the day to feel and look like, and So there was definitely a few moments where we had to like remind ourselves of that, of just kind of center it back
Hmm.
to the reason why we're getting married. So
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard. There's so many opinions that people
yeah,
give you, or ways that they think you should do things that might not really like resonate with you guys and stuff. And so that is hard to navigate. And
yeah,
there's money involved too. And it's like, if someone's paying for this certain thing, then,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it's all hard to navigate, but it seems like you guys did a great job with it. So your wedding photos are just so awesome. I was
Thank
like,
you.
as soon as I saw them, I was like talking to Aaron from 1410. I was
Yeah,
like, I need to interview them on the podcast because, like, I think especially your florals just looked so
Oh
unique
yeah.
and different. And,
yeah.
like, the color scheme of your wedding was so cool. So, can
Thank
you, like,
you.
maybe speak to what inspired you guys to do all of that?
Yeah. I guess I'll take this one.
I was gonna make a joke, be like, hey, I
Leaving
got
the
this.
style to
Yeah.
Haley
I
here.
had no idea what the flowers were going to look like until I showed up like that day. Like I really had no like vision for like I knew roughly that she wanted her bridesmaids to be a bunch of different like nice kind of like spring floral colors. But other than that, I was kind of like
Yeah.
clueless about the
Yeah.
flowers.
He,
So I'll be quiet
yeah.
now.
Um, yeah, so I think I originally loved the idea of like a moody winter wedding, and some of the venues that we were looking at like definitely fit that vibe. And then when we decided on 1410, I mean, there was just so many amazing things with that venue and the people
Hmm.
and just like the things that it kind of like comes with and whatnot. And so we decided on that venue, and it is very like it's very open. It's literally like a blank canvas, and it's nice and bright and white. And so I was like, okay, I would love to maybe bring a little bit more color to the space. And
Hmm.
since so we got married end of February, so it was like I kind of like the idea of like ushering in spring a little bit and just involving a little bit more colors. And so yeah, with the florals, we worked with Echoes of Eden, and they were on the 1410 vendor guide, so we found them that way, and
Hmm.
they were just incredible to work with. And I think I maybe had two or three like kind of sessions with them, and kind of took them through my like Pinterest boards that I had kind of drawn up. And um, they were incredible, and I didn't know like exactly what they were going to look like until the day, but I totally like trusted them with like my vision. And I yeah loved exactly what they did. And I liked the idea of like the columns for our kind of I guess centerpiece during the ceremony, and after with our like sweetheart table. I liked the idea of that because there was like the barn doors in 1410, and it just
Hmm.
didn't fit as much with like our aesthetic. So
Yeah.
I really liked the idea of the columns and using that. And yeah, just making it like very fun and springy, but not like too like in your face or anything like
Hmm.
that. It was um, I really liked that we just yeah incorporated the colors to make everything pop. And um, they
Hmm.
also involved like the citruses in our sweetheart table, and
Yeah,
I
I
loved
saw
it. It
that.
really brought like texture and shapes, and I loved that. So yeah,
Hmm.
they were absolutely incredible, and that's why also like I wanted to do their my bridesmaids bouquets. I kind of made those a little bit more simple because their dresses were colorful. So
Hmm.
we had a little bit of balance there. And yeah, that was kind of the inspiration, was to just yeah usher in spring. And we also encouraged our guests to wear kind of spring colors if they wanted to. And
Oh,
so we
that's
brought
fun.
color with them as well. And yeah, it was great.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's smart in that space to kind of add color to it because, like
Yeah.
you said, it is very bright. But it's so cool because that's what is cool about the venue is that it is a blank slate and you can
Mm-hmm.
do with it whatever you want and decorate it however you want. And all the weddings there can look so different. Yeah, and your florals, I was like, I feel like I've never seen something like this
Yeah.
before. There were like blue florals, and I know just from being in the
Mm-hmm.
wedding industry, like those are so hard to find.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
blue and a flower, which is really cool. And then
Yeah.
just like you had like balls of like blue florals, and like
Yeah.
it was awesome. She did a great job.
Oh,
She's so
incredible.
talented. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool. It just almost felt like an art museum or something, or like
Yeah.
very sculptural, which was
For
really
sure.
cool, but also like keeping with the spring colors, I think was really fun.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us some of those special moments from your wedding day.
I I guess the first one that sticks out to mind is the first
The
look.
first look, yeah.
Reading the letters that we had written to each
Yeah,
other.
we had done private vows, and like our first look. And it was fun because I also didn't know what his suit was going to look like. He brought my sisters with him to pick out his suit, and he did Indochino, so they
Yeah, it's
customized the entire suit pretty much.
so many different pieces of it that I didn't even realize you could make decisions about.
Yeah.
They were like
Wow,
customizable.
that's cool.
I had like the Starry Night on the inside of my jacket, like
No
watercolor of that.
way.
So it
That's
was
so cool.
Yeah, he had like our initials on his cuff, I
my
guess.
cuffling.
Yeah.
So that was a really special moment because it was like fun for both of us. Like we were both like
Yeah.
excited to like see what the other person was wearing, and
Mhm.
Reading the letters too. Like the first time she told me she loved me, she had a note hidden in her purse, like a love letter, like explaining all the things that she loved about me and how I was her
Aw.
person. And she pulled that letter out of her purse that she'd been carrying there for how long?
about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and I just immediately started crying. And so letters and things of that nature are like really important
Yeah.
to
I have a
us.
little tattoo in my arm too. That there's a
Oh
little
my
envelope I got
gosh.
for him
I
too.
So
love that.
yeah, just like reading those letters that we wrote that day, just meant like so much to me, and I could barely like get mine out.
I know, it was really
I was
sweet.
terrible
Aw.
at speaking. Like the lumps in my throat just
Yeah.
immediately
Yeah.
like closed up on me, and public speaking when I'm emotional just does not work. I
Yeah.
tried to give a
Yeah.
speech the night before at a rehearsal dinner,
Oh, it
and
was so bad.
I literally just said the F word, and like very emotionally, I couldn't say anything else other than the F word. And my whole family and all these extended friends and stuff were there, and they just started laughing. And I was like, all right, I'm sitting down now.
Yeah.
The letters, I think that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then just getting a moment with you before we went back out after the ceremony when we were in that room, and didn't somebody bring us like our cocktails or our drinks?
Yeah,
or
we had our
something?
friends bring us our like signature cocktails so we could
Oh, that's
have a
great.
little bit.
Yeah, so we had like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes alone in that room to just kind of take a sip. It was like, take a deep breath, practice our dance moves super fast,
Yeah.
and then go out there. But yeah, just those little moments, even though we didn't have many moments like alone because we were surrounded by all of our friends and family, that stuck out to me a lot. Just like having a quick sec to like check in and see,
Yeah.
are you good? Yeah, I'm great. How are you doing? I'm great.
That was
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, I think that's really smart that you guys did that, to just have that space of just you guys, because it can get overwhelming with all your wedding guests. And it's like, I remember at my wedding, it was like every 2 seconds someone's tapping your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you, hey, I want to talk to you now.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you now. And so it can start getting into that, like, you know, where it just doesn't slow down. And so for you guys to like be intentional and like actually take that time to slow down and like have a moment between you guys, because that's what that day is about, is you guys getting married and spending the rest of your lives together.
Yeah.
And so
And I feel like we
think that
had
was
so
really
many people tell us beforehand of like just kind of advice. People that have, you know, been married before, they were like, just maybe try to take some time to you guys and like just bask in the day. And that was like a huge help, because I mean it sounds like common sense, like obviously like just like stick together, but even just having those moments of just like checking in with each other, even if it's just like a squeeze of the hand or, you know, little things like that, of just like, all right, like let's be as present as we possibly can. It was,
I would say also something that like I'm so glad that we did was after the wedding and after everyone was done dancing and everything like that, we and people are different, but we were just like we want to like go and like get on with like our honeymoon. We didn't really take a honeymoon,
Mm.
so
Yeah, we did a little
we had
staycation.
a hotel waiting
Okay.
for us like 10 minutes down the road in Nashville, and her sister drops us off there, and we just got to like hang out in the hotel room and just like you know relive like the moments from the night and talk about it, and
Mm.
it
Like
was
kind of
awesome. Yeah,
debrief, like
not having to travel like immediately, like get
Yeah.
on a flight, and like
yeah,
yeah, just
Right.
got to like talk about it and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the night,
yeah,
and
Mhm.
that was really special, um,
That's
as
so
yeah.
well.
cool. I
The
love that.
other moment, I guess, from the day, and I know we kind of talk a lot, but
No,
one of
go for it.
the my favorite moments of the day. I still love you, but it didn't necessarily involve
Oh yeah,
Kyle.
I know, right?
um,
I know what it is.
my grandpa was able to come to our wedding,
Oh.
and we were thrilled because we weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it or not. My
Oh.
grandma, they live up in Vermont, and
Wow.
she, you know, my grandparents, they always stick together and stuff. So we
Mm.
weren't really sure if my grandpa would come or not, and he decided to come, and we were so excited. And
Oh,
so
yay.
for my father-daughter dance, I decided to surprise my older sister who had previously gotten married like a year and a half before us. He wasn't able to come to her wedding, so I gave like a little speech right before the father-daughter dance, and everybody was like, "What is she doing? Like, what is going on?" I
Oh,
didn't tell anybody except for Kyle and my parents and my grandpa,
yeah.
and just gave like a little spiel just about how happy I was that my grandpa was there and just how inspiring their love is and all of this stuff. And then I asked if my grandpa and my sister would join us for the father daughter dance. So they got to like
Oh.
share that dance with us
Oh
and
my
Everyone,
gosh, that's
everyone was
precious.
crying
crying
everywhere.
after.
I
Like
know.
all my groomsmen that I
Oh.
thought were like tough guys were just like wiping away
They're
like
like,
Oh,
tears.
they're like, I'm okay, I
Yeah,
yeah,
promise.
yeah. No, that was one of my favorite moments too.
yeah, that was a
Yeah,
really,
that was amazing.
really special moment.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that. That's so special and like so nice and generous of you too to like include your sister and your
yeah,
grandpa in the special moment that is for you and your dad too.
yeah.
But it made it even more special,
Oh,
which is really
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah. And the
Mm-hmm.
pictures and oh yeah, it was incredible. It was such a
Oh,
good feeling.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Were there any moments of your day where you felt like you had to go off script or like little snags that things went a little bit wrong or
I don't know. I feel like we also kind of set up our wedding to be a bit like go with the flow in some moments. I
Yeah,
mean, our
yeah,
planner, Sarah through 1410, she was absolutely incredible.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's awesome.
literally
They're so good
amazing.
over there.
They're so good.
Yeah.
She even even if there was something that happened, I
Oh,
feel like we wouldn't even know about it.
the Tyler, our DJ, who was amazing. It actually made it funnier what he did. He was about like my dad had just given a speech, and
Oh yeah,
Haley's dad was about to give a speech, and Tyler was like, "All right, everyone, thank you." And Haley's dad was
yeah.
like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing?"
Like what about me?
Hold on. It's like a scratch, like a
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it was really funny, and Tyler was awesome.
yeah. My
So
dad like just
yeah.
jokingly like gave him a hard
yeah,
time
just
about
busted his
it.
balls a little bit,
Yeah,
but it was great. Like it was perfect.
That's so
So
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say.
yes,
I think
Yeah.
that was.
yeah. Luckily, I feel like
Wow.
there really wasn't anything that
No,
like big
That's
pitch or
great.
anything.
if
Yeah,
there was, we had no idea because we were on the dance floor the entire
Yeah.
night after the ceremony.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
what we want. We wanted to spend like our entire night on the dance floor.
Oh
So
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. That's awesome. Well, that's a testament to 1410 and their staff and
yeah,
to having a planner for your wedding, which
absolutely.
I recommend, highly recommend,
Yeah,
because as a bride, as a couple, like you don't want to be the point person for everybody. Like
right.
you should not be. And just have you don't want to be like, oh no, the cake person's not here, and like you having to
Yeah,
work that out while it's like your wedding day. And so, yeah, in case anything like that did happen, you have somebody to handle that for you. And
exactly.
so that is really great to hear, and very rare, honestly, for that
Yeah,
little DJ thing, the only little snag in your wedding. That's pretty
yeah,
amazing.
we'll take it.
Yep.
And then finally, I would just love to know, like, what advice do you guys have for other couples who are engaged and about to get married?
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll go
Yeah.
first. I think at this point in your relationship, you should know what is the most important to you. And
Mm-hmm.
so focus your most energy on that. Like for us, it was asking my friend was the one that officiated the wedding for us. And so getting with him beforehand, talking about what he was going to say about us, about love in general. Um, that I think took for me, that was like one of the most important things, and that took a lot of time and like very thoughtful, um, well, just a lot of planning into that. So it just it depends on like what you prioritize, I guess, as a couple. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you want the ceremony to be the super personal like thing, or if you just want it to be fast and like get it over with, like it's what you want it to be. So if the
Mm-hmm.
food is the most important aspect to you, like then just yeah, just be considerate as to what the most important things are and focus your energy there rather than sweating all of like the teeny tiny small stuff that it could be a decision that you could make that fast rather than think about it for 2 days. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Yeah. And I always recommend to couples, I'm like, pick your top three things. What's most important to you, and make sure those are the things that you spend your money on, or that is like your little splurge or whatever that
yeah,
most of your budget goes to and towards, because that is what's important to you. And the rest of it can kind of fill in the blanks. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
great advice.
I probably honestly could have like used some of that advice. I was and I am a bit of an overthinker.
Mm,
And I've even like given this advice to some friends that got married after us or are about to get married too. And people gave me this advice, and I still just in the midst of wedding planning, I was like, I can't like necessarily follow that, but I am a very like nitpicky person and I wanted everything to be perfect, understandably, but I kept getting a little lost in the details. And
mm,
my sisters, my mom, everybody kept telling me, like, you're not going to notice these things on like the day of your wedding. And
mm-hmm.
most people, if anybody, probably won't notice them either. So, like, just little things of, I just wanted, certain little tiny details to be perfect, or like, oh, well, if we don't have, this bistro table has to have like all these specific little things, or like, I don't know, just
how the
small,
napkins
Mm-hmm.
are folded.
yeah, like we had to
Right.
make decisions of like if we wanted the napkins tied in a knot or certain folding. And like
Mm-hmm.
for him, for sure, things were like, okay, here's a decision then and there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, let's think of like how it would look with this, or like just,
Mm-hmm.
I just overanalyze a lot of stuff. Um, and
Right.
so I definitely wish that I was a bit more like, okay, I'm not going to notice what that looks like on the day of the wedding. So I don't really necessarily need to put all of that energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I like certain aspects of overthinking because it helped plan a really
Mm-hmm.
great wedding and staying organized and stuff. But I definitely think, yeah, having more of like a bigger picture of like, okay, it matters that we're getting married. It matters that
Mm-hmm.
these people are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what we just kept coming back to, is like,
Yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be about us. It's going to be an amazing day. Nobody's going to notice these tiny little things that I just kept getting, hung up on. But
I would also say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like to your point, use a planner that's going to hold you
Yeah.
accountable to your timelines.
Totally.
If you
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're an overthinker, those deadlines and timelines that the planner has set in place are your saving grace. Like, they're going to help you so much, and they did help us
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Just force us to make those decisions that we were just like teetering on. So
Yeah. Or even just
Mm-hmm.
like getting their opinion on, I mean, we've never planned a wedding
yeah,
before, so it was
Right.
like really
Yeah.
helpful to just have somebody that can just really walk us through, like, okay, this is kind
Mm-hmm.
of what it would look like if you did this, and you don't really have to worry about this because I'll take care of it, or just certain
Yeah.
things like that. I felt like every single time we met with Sarah, like I was feeling like really stressed, obviously. And then after
Mm-hmm.
every planning session or any meeting that we had, I was like, oh, this is a huge weight off my shoulders. I just felt
yeah,
1,000 times better every single time we met with her or emailed her.
That's
Like
so
we were
great.
just always in contact, and it was very helpful to just always have that person to like give advice and just help
Yeah.
navigate it all.
For sure, because there's so many decisions you have to make you don't even realize. Like you said, the napkin color, the napkin fold, the how
Yeah.
many chairs at this table and who's sitting where, like seating chart stuff, like the list just goes
Yeah.
on. And it's like you kind of can hit this decision fatigue where you're like, I don't even know what to do or what the right thing is and almost become like frozen. But like
Yeah.
hmm
that's where a planner can really step in and guide you and be like, hey, this is ultimately your decision, but I kind of think this knot looks better in the napkin
Right.
than this fold. And then
yeah,
you can compare and be like, yeah, actually, and you know, and you
Yep.
trust them because they've been doing this for so many people and for however long and however many years. And you're like, okay, they're the experts here and like they can really guide us. But like they are also there to like help you do you and what you
Yep.
guys want as well. So I think that's
yeah,
Yeah.
super important. And yeah, like you said, there are a lot of personalities out there that are like super perfectionist and you want everything perfect, and especially just like the pressure of a wedding, like having it be like the best day of your life and the most perfect day of your life,
Yeah.
and it's like so you want everything perfect, and then it's like, oh man, it can get so burdensome.
yeah,
And but like you said, you want to just bring it back to that main point. Why are we doing this? Why are we here? It's for us to make a big commitment to each other in front of everybody we know. And
Yeah.
yeah,
so yeah, I think it's good to just like always kind of have that mindset in the back of your mind, because you can totally get caught up in all of the little things.
yeah.
So, but
I would
great
also,
advice.
yeah, one last thing to add.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the decisions that you get to make. That, like, some decisions, they're going to be boring and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be just like one after the other. You're like, oh my gosh. But others can be super fun, like us deciding to incorporate those little photos with the comments in them, or
Yeah.
us making our own cocktails. Like, we got to try to make cocktails at home to like figure out what we wanted the bartenders to serve, and so that turned into like a party in itself.
Yeah.
Like, just having little
That's so
fun
fun.
moments while planning, and not just being all like focus, 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 like let's get
Yeah.
this done. Like, just be yourselves and like
Mhm.
love your partner while you're doing
Yeah.
it. And
And that's
Yeah.
really what we wanted our day to feel like, was we wanted people to show up and be like, oh, this totally makes sense. This is Haylee and Kyle's wedding. Like
Yeah.
I feel like just the intentionality, the connectedness with like our guests, like those are the things that at the end of the day were the most important to us. So
Mm-hmm.
it really helped to just come up with things that for us just felt like
yeah,
very
Yeah.
specific to who we are as people. And yeah, so that was a really fun way to kind of make wedding planning just fun
hmm
too, because
Yeah.
I needed that for sure. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
we also
That's
had
so
a
cool.
cocktail hour. I'm so sorry for cutting you off. We
No,
also had a
go.
cocktail hour at the start of the wedding, which a lot of people told us was they really enjoyed that, and
Oh,
that gave us
fun.
time to kind of see almost everybody there before the ceremony even started.
Wow.
Yeah, because we joined in the cocktail hour
Yeah.
before.
So
So
we were both out there mingling with people, and that gave us the opportunity to kind of see almost everybody. That way, towards the end of the night, you're not like scrambling to like try to have conversations
yeah,
with people and stuff like that. You're just like in it, enjoying like the dancing
yeah.
and whatever
And I
else.
like
Mm-hmm.
wore a different dress so I could still like kind of come out and have my moment as like the bride in my
Oh,
wedding dress and stuff.
cool.
And
I
yeah, it
love
was
that.
honestly, it we also got to have a drink with people, and so that kind of calmed the nerves. And yeah, just like seeing everybody getting to like hug as many people as we could and kind of just ease the nerves a little bit, but still be able to like have our, big moment for the ceremony. That was like a huge thing for us, is really, really wanted to join in on the cocktail hour before, because we were like, we're going to feel left out. We want to come hang out with everybody. We didn't want to be stuck in a room by ourselves. So we really enjoyed that. That was an awesome thing.
That's so cool. I went to a wedding where we had the cocktail hour first, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I love that more couples are really like turning the normal wedding schedule just like on its head.
Yeah.
And like making the schedule how they want to make it. And it's so cool. It doesn't have to be ceremony, cocktail hour, reception, after party, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's so fun. And I like that idea too, because like maybe somebody got caught in traffic or like was running a little bit late. Like they're not like, we're missing the ceremony, like trying to get in, and then they're like embarrassed to like sit down in this like quiet room, like late. Whereas like if they come into a cocktail party, it's like, ooh, okay, I could just kind of like blend in and like mix and mingle with everybody else. And so I love that idea. And yeah, it does calm the nerves and just like kind of creates just more community for your day to start off with. So I love that. That's really cool that you guys did that. So but yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. This has been so fun chatting with you guys. Go head over to the blog if you're listening to this and look at their wedding photos. They're so gorgeous. And yeah, thank you guys again.
Thank you for having us. It was an honor. Much appreciated.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wedding Reporter podcast. I hope you learned a little bit and had fun today. To find more resources and podcast episodes, visit NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more information. And as always, click the subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, I'm Alyssa DeChico, signing off.